I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. Local health officials are warily watching as Florida's economy begins to reopen. John Arking reports.
Flagler Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickle says he understands the economic hit that's been given to the economy and that the public's willingness to remain in lockdown has pretty much reached an end, but he says that doesn't change the essential nature of this virus.
This idea of controlling this virus, it's challenging, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the caseload as we open things up, because it's definitely going to affect the rate of transmission to some degree. We're hoping it's slight, and we're hoping that public health, case contact, and containment strategies will work enough to keep it in check as we open up the economy. That's going to be the challenge. Other countries have pulled it off, but they've had, in general, far more developed, national, state, and local systems to deal with this. So we're kind of having to do this on the run. It's going to be a challenge. I'm hoping for the best. I'm a little nervous.
On Monday, Governor Ron DeSantis began lifting some of the restrictions that have been in place for more than a month, including on restaurants and retail stores. Restaurants can only use 25% of their indoor seating capacity, but can serve diners outdoors. However, venues like movie theaters will remain closed for now, along with barbershops, hair salons, gyms, and bars. It's not clear when they'll be able to reopen. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
Phase 1 of reopening Florida's economy has begun. State Representative Paul Renner tells us when phases 2 and 3 should begin.
It should happen on an accelerated basis. We also need to look, I think the governor gave deference to the South Florida counties that have had a bigger challenge, but some of the panhandle counties, I think, ought to be in phase 2 at this point, and the sooner the better.
Renner said he'd like to see restaurants go from 25% capacity to 50% capacity as quickly as possible so that small businesses will have a chance to survive. Paul Renner represents the 24th District at the State House in Tallahassee, which includes Flagler, St. Johns, Putnam, and northern Volusia counties. To listen to the entire interview with Representative Renner, download the Flagler radio app and go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, how do we enforce restrictions? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Carroll.
Yet another potential twist in plans for the new Sheriff's Office Operations Center. A proposal has surfaced to raise the moldy Operations Center in Vanille and build a new on that site. Going there could be a new Operations Center or a South Branch Public Library. County Administrator Jerry Cameron.
There is the potential for something that would be an improvement over the previous decision made by the Board of County Commissioners, but otherwise we're on track for what passed by the Board of County Commissioners.
What's already passed among commission members includes plans to build both a South Library branch and a new operations center off Commerce Parkway, though there are concerns about future expansion if both are built there. Sheriff Rick Staley weighed in on plans.
I don't think that if we're on one side of the road or the other side will slow this project down at all. In fact, depending on if they're successful with the church property, my personal opinion after talking to the architects, that it may actually speed it up because there's some zoning issues and a lot of infrastructure because the land is low where that library joint site is. Would then, if it was able to be split, it would allow expansion for both types of operations, which you clearly will not have. We're both together.
A final decision could come at the Commission's next meeting on May 18th.
I think that the current administration could do better.
A small business owner in Palm Coast wants to be your next mayor. Michael Shoddy owns Nova Digital Marketing and Consulting and is also vice president of the board for Mad Dogs Flag Football of Palm Coast.
Yeah, I'm running because I love this city so much, and I want to make sure that for the next 8, 10, 20, 25 years that we're on the right path moving forward. And that means clearing out a lot of the roadblocks that have kept this city back. It means growing in the right way. Not unplanned growth, not uncontrolled growth, but growing in the right way. And it means working together. Burning bridges is not the way to move forward.
Shoddy also briefly worked for the city as its communications officer. Travel and Tourism Week looks a lot different this year amid the global pandemic that's virtually led to a halt in all travel. Tony Magoo has more.
If this was a typical year, the Flagler County Tourism Development Office, Palm Coast, and the Flagler Beaches would be celebrating Travel and Tourism Week with a huge event. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, this is not a typical year. The coronavirus is a problem for any tourism town in the country, but there are still ways for the Flagler County community to rally together and celebrate the spirit of travel. With me this morning is Amy Lukasik, Director of Tourism tourism development in Flagler County. Amy, being a small tourist town may have its advantages. People are going to want to stay closer to home, right?
The drive market is our market anyway because we don't have that commercial airport conveniently in our county.
What are most folks wanting to experience here?
The beach was number one, so we are in a prime position for that. We have uncrowded beaches, and they're looking for less populated communities and destinations to go to.
Anyone looking for low-key and elbow room will find that in Flagler County.
We are in a prime position to welcome those folks.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.